the then railway minister in 2009, which was Mamata Banerjee, who is now the Chief Minister of West Bengal. The Constitution promises equality among states, but this government practices preference. Allies are funded while opponents are starved. So this is not a model of cooperative federalism. This is a model of subscription-based federalism. So the budget and the manner in which the government chooses to function forces us to confront a truth that we as citizens have been avoiding for too long. So in November 2021, on a stage thousands of miles away at the Kennedy Center, Veer Das, a young stand-up comedian from India, spoke of two Indias. Many laughed, some were offended, few paused to listen. But what he offered was not comedy. It was a warning, a prophecy, a mirror held up to a nation standing at the edge of its own contradictions. Because I too, sir, come from two India. And I come from an India which proclaims Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. And I also come from an India where mother tongue becomes a marker of suspicion, where speaking Bengali makes you a Bangladeshi and eating fish makes you a Mughal. Sir, I come from a part of India that gave birth to revolutionaries and wrote courage in blood. And I also represent an India where saying Joy Bangla or singing Amar Sonar Bangla is enough to strip you and brand you a labeled Ghuspetiya. Sir, I come from an India that thunders Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas from every podium. And I come from an India where West Bengal's rightful dues to the tune of 1,96,000 crores are frozen in cold bureaucratic silence. Sir, what is withheld is not just money. What is withheld is dignity. What is withheld is constitutional promise that every Indian, every state stands equal before the union. This is not governance or federalism, sir. This is a message that you stand in line or you'll be made to pay the price. And that is the tragedy of our time. India has two faces, but that one India is being asked to kneel before the other is the truth that we all are facing today. Sir, I come from an India where the finance minister proudly declares with absolute confidence that India is the fastest growing economy in the world. And I come from another India where Bengal, after contributing 6.5 lakh crores in taxes in just last 7 years, is systematically denied its rightful share. So despite repeated requests and appeals, we have been denied employment under Manrega, housing under PM Awas Yojana, road connectivity under Gram Sadak Yojana, even basic drinking water under Jal Jeevan Mission is being stopped. So I come from an India that boasts of maximum governance, minimum government. And I also come from an India where governance means abandonment, where the poorest are forced to fight for roti kapra makan, where wages are held hostage, where houses are sanctioned on paper but erased in practice, where even drinking water becomes a bargaining chip in a political vendetta. I come from an India where farmers are stopped at the national capital with nail embedded in the roads with concrete barricades. And I also come from an India where terrorists can enter the national capital and carry out blasts killing 15 innocent people. I come from an India where we are told, and I quote, India's borders are safe and they cannot be violated. A promise that is made from the highest office. And I also come from an India where that promise lies in ruins. Terrorists crosses our border, infiltrated heavily guarded militarized zones like Pahalgam, and gunned down 26 innocent civilians under broad daylight. And Honorable Sir, all of these, the abandonment, the broken promises, the selective cruelty, it's not random, it's not accidental. It flows from a single, unmistakable principle of this budget. So this budget is built on a single unmistakable principle, that is triple. Triple, teen. A writer once said, there are three kinds of lies. Lies, damned lies, and statistics. Modern India lives with three certainties: pressure that mounts, taxes that multiply, and trust that is betrayed. So today, India lives under triple pressure, triple taxation, and triple betrayal. Triple. So let me place before this August House my 10 principles of triple. Sir, पहले है ट्रिपल टैक्स ट्रैप। एक आम इंसान को लगता है मैं एक बार इनकम टैक्स दे रहा हूं, बट आई विल एक्सप्लेन टू द चेयर एंड शेयर विद दिस ऑगस्ट हाउस that how a common man is being taxed 3 times over, not once, twice, but thrice. So the first blow is the income tax. The salaried citizen pays tax even before the salary reaches his bank account. There is no escape, no negotiation, no adjustment made for inflation. In today's India, honesty doesn't pay, it costs. So number 2 is GST. From the first biscuit with the morning tea to a school notebook, from sugar and spices in the kitchen to the electricity bills, from hospital expenses to medical expenses, from soap in the bathroom to the software at work, indirect taxes follows everywhere. Sir, जहां सरकार की वेलफेयर स्कीम्स नहीं पहुंचती है, वहां भी जीएसटी पहुंच जाती है. The government celebrates record GST revenue, but this number do not reflect growth or prosperity. They reflect a system squeezing revenue from consumption, often from necessity, not choice. So third tax is inflation, the most silent tax of all. The tax that rises without permission and collects without responsibility. It's a slow leak in the common man's wallet. For the middle class, inflation feels like the salary comes on time, but it doesn't last the month. The same grocery list costs more, the same school fees feel heavier, and the same electricity bill shocks more than even before. Nothing extra is being bought, yet money disappears faster. It quietly eats into savings meant for children's education, family travel, medical emergency, or old age. Sir, I come from an India that proudly calls itself a Vishwa Guru. And I also come from an India that is teaching the world how to extract triple tax out of a single citizen. So my triple number 2, triple pain of proving your existence. So let us be honest. Voting today is no longer considered enough. Having one's name on the electoral rolls for decades is no longer enough. Even service to the nation is no longer enough. You may be a decorated soldier, a Nobel laureate, a sitting High Court justice, or even a member of this august house, and still you have been asked to prove that you belong. This strikes the heart of Article 326 of the Constitution, which guarantees adult citizens the right to vote. Sir, in Bengal alone, 150 lives have been lost in the last couple of months, and nearly 1 crore people are today being treated as suspects. If electoral rolls are so unreliable that every citizen must continually reprove their legitimacy, then by that same logic, sir, the legitimacy of this very house, formed on the basis of this very electoral rolls, is itself questionable. Yes. So my triple number 3, and I'll talk of 3 betrayal. First betrayal is where the global crude oil prices crash. Indian citizen sees no benefit. Instead, the common man is generally offered ethanol mixed petrol at a premium, paying extra for a policy experiment he neither demanded nor benefits from. My second betrayal, the government boasts of bullet trains, which Akhilesh ji has also mentioned. While fancy trains make the headlines, only 4% of the network is safeguarded with Kavach, leaving ordinary travelers exposed to risk. Third betrayal. So the ordinary Indian doesn't ask for any miracle. They ask for clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, safe roads to return home, and affordable health care while life falters. Even these simple hopes remain uncertain. An ordinary citizen pays income tax to buy a vehicle. Or for example, an ordinary citizen pays income tax to earn, a road tax to buy a vehicle, and toll tax to drive it on the road, often broken, unsafe, and unfinished. So 3 payments on one journey. अगर एक इंसान इनकम टैक्स दे रहा है, तो एक गाड़ी को सड़क पे चलाने के लिए सर उसको 3 बार टैक्स देना पड़ता है. एक है इनकम टैक्स, दूसरा है रोड टैक्स, तीसरा है टोल टैक्स. That is why I said 3 betrayals. So now I'll come to triple bonanzas for the rich. So this budget reveals a clear pattern. First, a triple bonanza for the elites and a triple lock on the poor. So top 10% of this country now corner 57% of nation's income and 65% of its wealth, while the bottom half survives on just 6.4%. In this economy, money earns money, but survival earns nothing. Second, so if you look at taxation and support, foreign cloud giants are handed tax holidays, while Indian MSME, the very backbone of employment, are left empty-handed. Sir, relief exists on paper, but in actual distress exists on the ground. Third, corporate India gets red carpet, easier property rules, wider equity access for NRIs and massive infrastructure promises. But the result of these government policies is not competition, it is concentration. Oligopolies flourish, entry barriers rise, and ordinary entrepreneurs are kept outside the gate, watching cronies grow richer with the union support. Sir, I come from an India where wealth is applauded as a virtue. And I also come from an India where survival itself is treated as ambition. I come from an India where policy quietly opens the gates for the powerful. And I also come from an India that stand outside those gates with hands folded, backs bent, hearts heavy, and eyes raised, hoping that one day these gates will open for them too. Now my 555, farmers. So the budget completes a cycle of betrayal. Every day, nearly 30 farmers dies by suicide. Not because they failed, but because policy failed them. 5 years after the historic farmers' movement, which saw 700 lives lost, the union government has still refused to legalize MSP. Promises were made at protest sites, assurances were echoed in parliament, but delivery never followed. And now, adding salt to the injury, the government has now announced a trade deal with the United States that will open Indian markets to heavily subsidized American farm produce. The deal may benefit American farmers, but it will depress prices, destroy competitiveness, and further marginalize Indian farmers who struggle without MSP protection. So this is not a trade policy. This is an abandonment of our Annadata. Sir, I have a tweet right in front of me, which I want to show or place before you. Sir, Secretary Brooke Rollins, who is the Agricultural Secretary of the United States, she said, and this is 5 days back, on the day when the trade deal was announced, she's clearly saying, new US-India deal will export more American farm products to India's massive market. In 2024, America's agricultural trade deficit with India was 1.3 billion. India's growing population is an important market for American agricultural products, and today's deal will go a long way to reduce that deficit. So this is not my tweet. She clearly says, thank you, President of the United States, for once again delivering for our American farmers. If the government doesn't agree with a tweet, so where is the disapproval letter or where is the communication that the government has sent in protest to the tweet that has been sent out 5 days back? Sir, अमेरिका का एग्रीकल्चर सेक्रेटरी कह रहे हैं इस डील से अमेरिका का किसानों का फायदा है, इसीलिए हम अमेरिका का सभापति का धन्यवाद करता है. And the Indian government or the union has not written a line in protest of what the agriculture secretary has tweeted. So now I come to youth. So the much publicized PM internship scheme was allocated over 10,800 crores. Less than 5% of the amount has been utilized. Similarly, the PM Young Achiever Scholarship, which was meant to uplift the talented students from marginalized backgrounds, saw 31% of its fund go unused in financial year 25-26. Sir, if I speak of women, more than 86 women are raped every day in this country. A number that reflects systematic collapse, not isolated crime. Sir, Bengal exercised its constitutional authority and passed the Aparajita Bill, a stringent anti-rape law providing the strongest deterrence against crime against women. So the bill was duly sent to the union through the governor about 18 to 19 months ago. For a year and a half, it has remained pending without any decision. So when a democratically passed law maintained to strengthen protection is left in a limbo, it expresses a lack of intent. This reminds me that I come from an India that promises to double farmers' income. And I come from an India where 1,11,174 farmers and agricultural laborers, brothers and sisters have been forced to commit suicide. I come from an India which launched Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. And I come from another India where every 16 minutes a rape or a crime against women is being reported. So now I come to 3 cracks in the Constitution. Number 1, so hatred has now been normalized. It has moved from margin to the mainstream. So if I talk about cases registered for promoting enmity between religious and social groups, the number of cases has doubled between 2021 and 2023. And this rise didn't happen in silence. It happened alongside political speeches, public rallies, and calculated dog whistles. When hate goes unpunished, it spreads. When it spreads, minorities pay the price. Second, hate is no longer whispered. It has become a broadcast. So our country has documented more than 1,300 hate speeches in a single year. When such volume of hate fills public space, the government refuses to act decisively, swiftly, then the message is clear, sir. Intimidation is tolerated and silence is the union's policy. Third, the education empowerment scheme under the Ministry of Minority Affairs has just used 8% of its total funds, while the 35% of the ministry's allocation, 27% under tribal affairs, and 28% under scheduled tribes remain unutilized. Sir, even schemes like a scholarship like Maulana Azad National Fellowship, Pre-Metric Scholarship, and Paro Pradesh have been hollowed out. So now I come to 777, which is the triple power grab. Over the last decade, the government has treated institutions as the government's own personal property. So the parliament is silenced, debates are curtailed, scrutiny is abandoned, and even the deputy speaker's post is kept vacant because dissent is inconvenient. Sir, investigating agencies no longer investigate, they intimidate, chasing the opposition with raids and arrests. While convictions become negligible, as independent institutions weakened, public institutions are put on the auction block. Air India, BPCL, the shipping corporation, built by generation with public money, are being sold like distressed assets, hastily, without any sort of accountability. So this is described as reform, but it is actually a managed handover. When institutions are bent to serve power and national assets are reduced to headlines and handover, the constitution is not broken in protest, it's torn apart. Sir, I come from an India where the Honorable Prime Minister says, na khaunga, na khane dunga. And I also come from an India where questioning the washing machine that gave reprieve to 23 of the 25 leaders who joined the BJP makes you the most corrupt one. So now I come to triple jumla on finances. Agriculture. So the budget waxes eloquent about coconut, cocoa, cashew, sandalwood, fisheries and AI advisories, but remains silent on MSP assurances, procurement expansion. There is no price stabilization fund, no diesel support, no fertilizer relief, and no electrical subsidy. This is diversification without security, and it leaves the majority of Indian farmers, trapped in distress. Sir, even the PM Kisan scheme has been stuck at 6,000 rupees since December 2018. Despite soaring input costs and record diesel prices, sir, in actual, if we see, real terms, farmers are earning less each year. A rupee in 2018 is not a rupee in 2026. Sir, if I speak of healthcare, the government spends less than 0.26% of the GDP. And they might have questions on my source of information. If the need be, I will place all the sources before the table by 8 p.m. tonight. The government spends 0.26% of GDP on public health even today. The national health policy promised 2.5% of GDP. What we get instead is postponement, excuses, and under-allocation. In a country where illness is still the fastest road to poverty, this budget chooses flyover over first aid, optics over oxygen, and announcement over actual care. So if I speak of infrastructure, the smart city mission promised transformation in 100 cities with over 2 lakh crore. Yet a decade later, what we have is half-dug roads and half-built homes. Instead of finishing the job, this budget announces new economic regions. Sir, under the Jal Jeevan mission, funds were cut by 74%, forcing states to pick up the bill. In higher education, 55,000 crore is spent on management, but 2.68 crore on infrastructure, not even enough to build a world-class lab. So now I come to my 999, the triple truth trap. And what I mean by truth is, the accountability on the government, sir, primarily rests on 3 pillars. One is the RTI Act. But when I speak of transparency, it diluted the RTI Act by expanding personal information as a ground for refusal. Sir, if you speak of PM cares, the PMO claims it lies outside the purview of RTI because it's a private fund. A fund that is created by public authority in a public office with the money of the people is being claimed as a private fund. There's no accountability. Sir, NFHS and NCRB data has been frozen because welfare still runs on census 2011. Sir, if I am to summarize the budget from the perspective of 3 stalwarts, B.R. Ambedkar warned us. What is the moral verdict of the budget? If we were to look at it from the perspective of Dr. Ambedkar, Gandhiji, or Swami Vivekananda, Dr. Ambedkar warned us that democracy is not just institutions. It is a constitutional morality. Gandhiji taught us economics divorced from ethics is violence. Swami Vivekananda reminded us that a nation cannot rise by crushing the weakest. Well, this budget violates all 3. In today's India, sir, tax does not follow income. Tax follows life. आज के भारत में टैक्स कमाई के पीछे नहीं, जिंदगी के पीछे है, चलता है सर. I will give you a small example. A baby is born, his milk and diapers are taxed. He grows, his education is taxed. He studies, his books, pencil and mobile data are taxed. He starts earning, his income is taxed. He saves for future. His savings are taxed. He spends to survive. His survival is taxed. He goes to work. His fuel is taxed. He falls sick. His illness is taxed. He grows old. Pension and healthcare are also taxed. And Honorable Speaker, even after his death, the family still pays tax. बच्चा पैदा होता है, दूध और डायपर पर टैक्स, पढ़ाई शुरू होती है, शिक्षा पर टैक्स, किताबें, नोटबुक, पेन, पेंसिल, मोबाइल डेटा सब पर टैक्स, कमाई शुरू होता है, इनकम पर टैक्स, सर बचत करता है, बचत के ऊपर टैक्स, जीने के लिए खर्च करता है, खर्च पे टैक्स, काम पर जाता है, पेट्रोल डीजल पर टैक्स, बीमार पड़ता है, इलाज और दवाई पर टैक्स, बुढ़ापा आता है, पेंशन और इलाज पे टैक्स, और मौत के बाद भी सर शोक सभा में अगरबत्ती जलाने के लिए भी परिवार को टैक्स देना पड़ता है. This summarizes the budget. Sir, I am addressing the chair. I'm sure the finance minister will have a reply ready. When she is given the opportunity to speak, she can quote me, and if I am misleading the house, she can take my name and then place her arguments. Sir, from a baby's first milk to a citizen's final farewell, this government taxes life at every step. जन्म से लेके अंतिम संस्कार तक हर कदम पर टैक्स. ये रिफॉर्म नहीं सर, ये लाइफ टाइम टैक्स ट्रैप है. सर नाउ आई कम टू 1010, मेरा लास्ट ट्रिपल. मैंने 9 ट्रिपल का बात किया, अब 10वां कर रहा हूं. सर आई विल एंड विथ 3 dates, 3 moments of history: 2016, 2021 and 2024. 3 elections, 3 verdicts, 3 decisive defeats for the BJP in West Bengal. And after this triple defeat, a 4th one is no longer a warning. It is approaching. Sir, मैं ज़्यादा घुमाऊंगा नहीं. Let me come straight. Sir, the government want to punish Bengal. Let them proceed. We won't bow. You want to freeze our funds? We will persist. मैं क्यों कह रहा हूँ persist? क्योंकि पीएम आवास से लेके, सड़क से लेके, मनरेगा से लेके सारे पैसे बंगाल के पिछले 5 साल से ये सरकार ने रोक के रखा है. प्रधानमंत्री ने आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात किया है, हम स्वनिर्भर बंगाल क्या होता है काम करके दिखाया है. So you want to punish Bengal? Proceed, we won't bow. You want to freeze our funds? We will persist. You want to profile and persecute our youth? We will protect them. You want to starve our schemes? We will sustain our people. Bengal's spine was not ever bent by surrender, nor softened by sermons of hate. It is forged in struggle, tempered in sacrifice, and is not for sale. Go ahead, send your audits. We will answer them. Unleash your agencies. We will confront them. Delay our clearances. We will chronicle every day stolen, every stolen day. But remember this: files can be frozen, funds can be stalled, voices can be suppressed, but memories can't be erased. And when the people rise, and the ballot breaks the silence, we will settle the final account. You will wear the mask of the union, we will raise the mirror of the people. And when truth looks back, power will bend and we'll have to blink first. So this reminds me again that I come from an India that celebrates labor as a backbone of the economy, the hands that build our highways, factories, ports, cities, this parliament. But I also represent an India where that very labor, when it travels from Bengal, is no longer seen as a labor, he's seen as a suspect. Punished for the language he speaks. I come from an India where Northeast is proudly called Ashtalakshmi. And I also come from an India where Manipur bled for 864 days and the Prime Minister found no time to visit. I come from an India that derives its vocabulary from Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And I also come from an India where Vidyasagar's bust was vandalized by ruling party at the center. I come from an India where we worship Ma Durga as Supreme Shakti. And I also come from an India where Ma Durga's ancestry is questioned by BJP leaders. Sir, I really come from to India. And honestly, I'm tired of explaining this house which India I belong to. Because the truth are, they both exist. And until and unless we acknowledge the second one exists, we will never be able to be the first one we claim to be. So budgets can divide, politics can polarize, power can pretend, but there's something deeper than budgets, older than governments, and stronger than fear, which is the moral imagination of the people. When institutions weaken and language loses its faith, it is our literature, our culture, our shared memory that rises to remind the nation of who it is and who it must never cease to be. So I finally return to the Constitution. When you open the Constitution, it opens with the words, "We, the people of India." It's not a ceremonial phrase. It's a declaration of sovereignty. It's a reminder that power flows upward from the people, not the other way down. That governments may rule, but people remain the supreme. That sentence is not meant to be recited, it is meant to be lived. And as long as people remember it, no fear can last, no injustice can endure, and no republic can ever truly be taken away. And thus today, I do not end with slogans. I end with conscience, and I end with voice of Bengal. এই মৃত্যু উপত্যকা আমার দেশ না, এই জল্লাদের উল্লাস মঞ্চ আমার দেশ না, এই বিস্তীর্ণ শ্মশান আমার দেশ না, এই রক্তস্নাত কসাইখানা আমার দেশ না। আমি আমার দেশকে ফিরে কেড়ে নেব। জয় হিন্দ, জয় বাংলা।
Thank you. Next speaker, Sri T.R. Baluji.